friends, welcome back. I'm bringing something not the usual, but let's have this discussion. I saw a video one time on this LGBT community. They were children between the age of 12 to about 15, and they were protesting for their rights. And the funny thing is they are identified as dogs, and in their protest they were not using language like not this one. They were literally backing, and they were in protest in quotes and wagging their body as in the way the dogs will wag their tail. And it just brought to my mind that there's a lot of things that is going wrong and normal. I didn't know how to feel, whether to be angry or to cry or just to be frustrated, because I don't know how we've come to teach children that they can be anything outside human beings. That children now choose to be animals, choose to be objects, choose to be just anything. It's now like kids are just so exposed. Some even go to the extent of pumping drugs to their system, chemicals to their system, just to stifle their natural emotions and instincts and feel more like the object or the animal that they have chosen to be. Imagine children are out there with placards and they are barking because they want to be recognized as dogs or cats or just anything, stick. You see that if you notice, the target is children. The target is children. You see it in their movies, in cartoons now have this queer, LGBT, gay, lesbian and all of those things. It's like it's a seed that is implanted in our children, right? That the more they see these things, the more it becomes a normal thing for them. Something that is evil, weird and wrong, totally wrong and weird, because they are now seeing it every day, because they are now watching it every day. Even in their school curriculum is there now. Children are being taught different things. This thing become a normal thing to them. Now I'm going to be talking about it today, and I'm going to be helping you as a parent to know how to handle this issue. Just stay with me. This is nothing but wickedness. Like wickedness in the highest sense, in the highest order. Because why are you putting these things in their cartoons? Why are you putting these things in their textbook? Why are you teaching them that they can choose to become animals? We all agreed at some point that humans are the highest animals because of the level of intellect that they have. And this time around, you are telling them that they can choose to be cats, they can choose to be dogs, they can choose to be just anything, hanger, spoons, just any object. They can choose to identify as anything and everything. If humans are indeed higher animals with higher intellect, telling them to choose or teaching them to choose to become cats or any kind of animal, is that not you degrading them? Now to the parents, it's very important that we ensure that our kids are surrounded with the right things. As much as I would say, it is very important that you watch what they watch. Parents, you must be particular about what your kids are exposed to. You must be particular about raising your kids in the right way, with the right tool. They should be around the right people. It's very, very important, because if your kids are surrounded with the right people, bulk of the work will be easy. But if they are surrounded with people that have a different worldview or perspective from what you are trying to inculcate in them, your work will be tainted and be tainted. Ensure first of all that they are surrounded with the right friends, the right pair. If it means pulling your children from their circle of friends or from their school, especially when your children they're exposed to curriculum that appreciate or force or those kind of things, they should be withdrawn from that kind of school. As a parent, your role is guidance and protection, just the way God will protect us and guide us in all aspects of life. You should be able to protect your children from all of these vices. Keep an eagle eye on them. They should know what is wrong from what is right. You should track the things that they are exposed to. Their Netflix, parental control should be key. Don't allow them watch movies that you have not vetted. In fact, I feel like This is not to talk that on any platform, but I feel like as a parent, your children should not even be spending time on Netflix, because we know, as a Christian parents, we know that their agenda is to push this LGBTQ thing, right? They're shoving it down our throats. You should ensure that your children know what they are exposed to. They should be exposed to the right thing. Track it. Be careful to ensure that they are not, being exposed to this wickedness. And then another thing I would want to point out is that it is your role and your duty as a parent to expose and teach them to reject this evil and wickedness that they are seeing. Around them, there are so many things going on, and if they're not careful, if you don't help them identify that this thing is evil, these things are normal, this thing is not what God would want from you, trust me, they're going to see it as a normal thing, and before you know it, you are running helter-skelter trying to talk your children out of embracing all of these things, all of these gay rights, all of this queer community, lesbians and gay and all of those things. If you don't want to get to that point where you are taking your child and teaching and praying for them to turn back from a wicked way, you should start teaching them now to see that all of these things are evil, and all of those things are geared to degrade them. All of these things are geared to configure them and put them out of God's natural way. They should know that it is a dishonor to themselves, and not just to themselves but to God. There is nothing natural about using drugs, medication, or any form of surgery to configure their body to their taste. God made them humans, and God made them normal. They should not use drugs. They should not be exposed. In fact, they should not be exposed to that extent where they will not be thinking of undergoing the knife or any kind of medication to suppress their emotions. Because I choose to be a boy, I will not be taking drugs or put my body under the knife so that I can look like a man. That doesn't make sense. I was watching a video of one of this guy that goes to campus and just talk to young people, and then one of the children confessed that he started taking drugs as early as age 11 to start, because he chose to be a girl. He's a natural born male, and he chose to be a girl, and he started taking drugs as early as 11 years to start suppress those masculine emotions, and then so that he can behave more like a girl. And who approved this for you? So your parents watched you, took you to the hospital to put you under medications, and then he said something like the days he skipped his drugs, he doesn't understand what goes on in his body, because the whole natural thing has been altered, and then for the rest of his life, until maybe he stops it, he would have to depend on this drug. It has messed up his emotions, it has messed up his hormones, and do you get, they are now surviving on drugs. Feel normal. That is not what God wants for us. And as Christian parents, we must be very careful to ensure that our children are not exposed to all of those things. I said here that a dysfunctional adult, right, will produce a dysfunctional home that will in turn produce a dysfunctional child, and the cycle continues. Of course, a dysfunctional family equals a dysfunctional society. Imagine if we keep allowing these seeds to grow in our children. Imagine what the next 50 years will look like. Children that do not know what is wrong from what is right. You see a boy claiming to be a girl. It doesn't make sense. It's not what God wants for us. You must ensure as Christian parents that you are not allowing your children to be exposed, especially if they are still under your roof, if they are still under your care. They should not be exposed to all of this abnormal things. Trust me, it is not good for them. Imagine your child is going to be dependent on drugs for the rest of their life, just to keep their hormones and their emotions in check, because they choose to be cats, because they choose to be dogs, because they choose to be just... It's appalling. It's not what God wants for us, right? This is why I'm bringing this to you, to your screen, to know that you should help your children. You should guide them. You should watch what they watch. Right? Without approval, they should not go to Netflix. Without approval, they should not be exposed to curriculums or cartoons that is going to make them see all of those things. And the next thing I want to talk about is be discerning enough as parents Be discerning enough, because and help your children also, not just you being discerning, help your children to also be discerning, because as they get older, there would be a lot of things that they'll be exposed to when they go to college, when they go to high school. In Nigeria we say secondary school. The moment they leave your house, they're going to be so exposed to things. They will see their friends that claim that that they're objects. Before they leave your house, teach them discernment, teach them how to discern what is good. They should be discerning enough to know what is wrong, what is evil, what is weird, what is abnormal. They should be discerning enough, right? Because the more they're exposed to these things, the more they see these things, the more they become desensitized, and the more they begin to they adjust their belief. It's not just children, even we adults. If you keep these videos in front of you, if you keep watching Christmas movies that have gay in it or lesbians in it, if you keep watching family movies that have all of these people inside, people identifying as cats inside, before you, if you see the person just opposite you as your next door neighbor, you will not see anything wrong with it, because you'll be watching it in movies. These are the agendas that are trying to push to us. You should teach your children to develop discernment, to be able to say, no, this is wrong, this is not something I want for myself, I don't want to subject myself to this, because you're a human being. Why do you want to choose to be a cat? Cat does not have the intellectual capacities that human beings have. We all agreed at some point that these ones are they are lesser animals and they are not intellectual beings. So why are you identifying as these things? Why? I mean, as a parent, this is something to look out for, because it's more like a seed that is being planted in them, and then this thing will grow up. They will become dysfunctional, and like we said earlier, a dysfunctional child will grow up to become a dysfunctional adult that will produce a dysfunctional home. And this dysfunctional home will produce another dysfunctional child, and the circle will continue and continue and continue, and I don't know, probably by before we know it, we are worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. Parents, I need you to check out these things. I need you to ensure that your kids are surrounded with the right people, have the right circle, they are exposed to the right things. You should be able to call out what is wicked, what is evil, what is weird, what is abnormal to them, and they should be discerning enough to know that this is wicked, this is abnormal, this is evil, and they should be able to say no, even when they are faced with pressure, even when they are exposed to all of those things, especially when they leave your roof, when they go out to other places. They should be able to call out that no, this thing is wrong, and this is what my mom has told me or what my dad has told me that I don't know, I should not do. Yes, I hope this helps you. Please, let's do the work.